What's up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome back. Today is, of course, That's a Shoot. For the new subscribers out there, this is my weekly show where I talk about the good and bad things going on in the world of professional wrestling. We call it Put Over and Buried. And then there's a main topic where I take one thing and I kind of break it down. But as always, we start with Put Over and Buried. So let's just get right into the action. As always, we start with Put Over and Buried. And we go Put Over first. And the first thing I need to put over is the Drew McIntyre beatdown of Heath Slater. I knew, I saw this was coming. This was just, but this was fantastic. Sometimes when something is predictable and it's fantastic, it is great. Yeah, not all the time does predictable need to be bad. And this was tremendous. Just, Drew. Heath Slater comes in there and he wants to try to get a raise from Shane McMahon. He's Shane, Drew, and the Revival. And Shane says no, and he goes back outside, and Drew says, I need to go talk to him. And he goes to talk to him, and he tries to give him money. So, and then he drops the money, and then when Heath Slater goes to pick it up, he just beats the living hell out of him. It's a fantastic beatdown. Sometimes those beatdowns are just, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I know it's a heel and beating down a baby face, but even still, sometimes you need those type of beatdowns. To get over the fact that a heel is a heel. And that was fantastic heel work, and it was just great. And then to bring it all off, the Revival and Shane came up to pull Drew off of Heath, and the Revival just picking up the money. So very, 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 very funny. You gotta love it. And then the next thing you gotta put over is the beatdown of Shane by Roman Reigns, and this is what we've needed for weeks now when it comes to Shane McMahon. We really needed an epic beatdown. I would have liked it to have been better off for the Miz to beat Shane, because I think that's the biggest feud. But the fact that Roman did it was good, and so shout out to that, because that was erotic or it was good. Again, I don't know the word I'm looking for. I know the word I'm looking for. I just don't know how to say the word. I'm 37 years old, so you got to forgive me. So yeah, it was epic. We had first of all, Roman Reigns, he came in there and he beat up the Revival, and then he put up Drew McIntyre through a table, and then he chased Shane out into the arena, and then he gave him Superman punches, and he hit the spear, and it was just epic. So good job by Roman Reigns. That was what we needed from that. And although in SmackDown they really just took that, and shoved it up somebody's ass. So, but it was good. It was good to see on Raw. And finally, how about the fact that both Raw and SmackDown we saw more wrestlers that we hadn't seen in a while. We saw Eric. Well, we seen Eric Young. He's been part of the 24/7 stuff, but Eric Young was on the show in a speaking role. Even though he got tore up by Seth Rollins, that was good to see. How about Luke Gallows again? Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Not be a part of the 24/7. They had a match in that backstage segment with AJ Styles. They did something on the YouTube channel for with AJ. So that's some good stuff. Sure, there was more. We saw AOP on SmackDown. We saw Matt Hardy and Senor Benjamin on SmackDown. The B Team was not only in the backstage segment, but he was also a part of um he's also a part of of um of the 24/7 no, the match with Heavy Machinery. That was interesting. So there was more, and that's more stuff. That's more stuff like that they should do. The Kabuki Warriors for like a 3 or 4 week, thing. They were now on television. So that's what needs to happen. They need to utilize the rosters more. You know, yeah, maybe they don't need to be wrestling, but they they need to be in backstage segments. There's no reason for you know for wrestlers to have, one or two wrestlers to have all the backstage segments. You know, because as long as you keep them on TV, you keep them in our minds. So that's I think that's a good thing. So they still probably have a little bit. They probably still have too much talent and too much talent that is underused, and it would be good to probably do some groups and stuff, but tag teams, anything like that. So and we saw the War Raiders on Raw. So more of the roster being shown and being used on television is always a good thing. And now to bury. And the first thing we're gonna bury is a fan touching Scarlett Bordeaux. Um, Scarlett was working a show down in Mexico, and a fan reached over and grabbed her, and it didn't touch her. It just like grabbed her around the waist to like hug her, and it's just more of these ongoing things where the fans are now, they're becoming more and more bold. They're at these live shows, and um and there was a video of it on Twitter, and Scarlett didn't even she didn't she put it on Twitter that she didn't even realize that it was you know that it was happening. She was so part of the show. One of the Mexican wrestlers kind of pulled her away a little bit. But yeah, and then we had these fan incidents. We had one thing with a fan who was talking with who was like shouting at Velvet Sky and someone else, and then Bully Ray pulled him to the back, and then we had one where the fan was getting into it with Taya Valkyrie and for Impact, and then when she turned around, when she knocked the beer out of his hand, and then he spit on her, and and those might be different things, because from what we're listening, like, those might seem like to be things where the others were, the wrestlers were, they were in the wrong as well. You know, because I think that if you're going to if you're going to be um if you're going to be a heel, then you need to take some, you need to take some ribbing and stuff, as long as the other people don't go over the line. For instance, there's that infamous clip on YouTube, or somewhere on the internet, where you can find it easily, where the Chris Jericho is fighting somebody, and somebody fans, you can hear the fan audibly say, "Go back to Winnipeg," and Chris Jericho he goes, "I'm from Manitoba, you idiot." So, it's stuff like that. That was a good one. So, and I don't know what started the thing with Tyler Valkyrie and someone like that, but you know, it's just more and more things where You know, at some point they're just not. They're just gonna keep the fans away from the wrestlers all day. It's gonna be way more. They're gonna tell the wrestlers not to even interact with the fans. And they're just gonna have the wrestlers just be the heels in the ring. And the fans are a major part of professional wrestling. So yeah, I'm not a big fan. And then obviously there's the fact that the fan was male. And again, like I said, he didn't touch any of her body parts. He just went around her waist. But you know, somebody sees that and says, "Oh, we can touch." Because Scarlett has this. She has a very sexual, sexy gimmick. She's the smoke show, and she is a smoke show. She's a very beautiful woman. And she does a lot of moves where she, puts the opponent's face in her bosom and in her backside, and it's very, so it's a very sexual, very fun thing. So there are gonna be fans that say, "Oh, well, we can touch her because she does." No, you can't. No, don't even try. So you gotta bury that. You gotta bury that without question. Next thing you got to bury is the Miz getting beaten again. I just don't get it. They went and got Miz over as a babyface. Got him over, and he's almost like a big time babyface. The crowd are really seem to be. Excuse me, or my nose is getting stuffed up. The crowd is really into him. It really has been into him ever since he turned. And they really been, really cheering for him and everything. And they just decided, well, we just gonna almost like he can just lose everything, and it just didn't. So what they did was they set up, they had Shane and Drew come out and Elias come out again, and they had to talk. And then the Miz came out and he did some funny stuff where he showed Shane getting beat up and everything like that. So. And then they had him try to they tried to have him do a handicap match, but they decided to, Truth came out there and a lot of and just funny. Which, by the way, I've just seen the video. We all said, on SmackDown. I'm taking a little bit of a detour. We on SmackDown. Um, what's his face? Drake Maverick beat R-Truth to win the 24/7 championship, and and there's a thing that he said that he was getting married this weekend, right? So we all said that he's gonna he's gonna do something where he gets married and Truth is going to crash the wedding. And when you know it, they put out a video this morning of Truth crashing the wedding and winning the 24/7 championship. Now, obviously, this is obviously not his real wedding, but this was just this was amazing. This was truly amazing. So, um, yeah, just really good stuff. But anyway, Truth was out there, and then there was a tag match, elimination tag match, and Truth got pinned, and it was 2-on-1 McIntyre and Elias against the Miz, and of course the Miz got beat. But during the promo, he did a great promo talking about how it was his fault that he turned Shane into what Shane is right now. And what I really think what this really needs to lead to is this needs to lead to at Extreme Rules some type of they've already done steel cage match, so I don't know what other match they can do. Um, but the Miz really needs to take Shane to the woodshed. He needs to whoop Shane's ass and get a big victory over Shane McMahon. It really needs to happen. So, or he needs to have a big win over somebody, or they're just going to ruin the goodwill they had with the Miz, that they have with the Miz. So, and they just can't ruin this. So yeah, the Miz getting beaten again, and finally, definitely the biggest burial of all is Matt Riddle, and apparently there was some things I didn't watch a video. There was a video I think from Cultaholic that said that that WWE are like they're like encouraging Matt Riddle to shoot on Goldberg, which I'm like absolutely shocked at that. Go because it's stupid. It really is stupid. Goldberg has drawn more money, done more for this business than Matt Riddle will ever do in his life. And you just having Matt Riddle say, "Go ahead and talk about Goldberg." No, tell him to shut the fuck up. He, I'm already, I'm already very not a big fan of Matt Riddle because he's a bro and he's a stoner and all that bullshit. But so, and the fact that he goes and like does all of that other, he's talking about Goldberg it's pissing me off. So if WWE is telling Matt Riddle to shoot on Goldberg, then tell me then that's bullshit. And WWE and it's a burial of WWE too. Stop it. Fucking bullshit. And now to my main topic of the show, and it's is WWE finally ending the brand split, and it definitely seems like that. You know the wild card seemed like when they first talked about it, it seemed like just a way for the WWE to try to pop a rating, to bring, it would bring over 4 SmackDown superstars to Raw and bring over 4 Raw superstars to SmackDown to like pop the ratings on the show so that, Roman could be on both shows or Kofi could be on both shows or Daniel Bryan or so on and so on, right? So that's what it seemed like in the beginning. But as it's gone on, it's you know mainly it's almost been like Roman, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Kevin, and recently Kevin Owens. All of those have just been on each show each week. So and this past week was really crazy because it just it was like screw the whole rule about it only being 4 because it had to be like I think there were 5 acts because I think a tag team or a group was when with the New Day was on Raw. So and then it just SmackDown. I think it had to be about 55. What I mean? So yeah, I mean it had to be. So I really do think that it is just I think we're maybe on the road to the brand split, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a big fan of the I'm not a big fan of the brand split anyway. The brand split first happened in 2002. I was willing to give it a try, but I was not a big. But after a few years, I was through with it. I was done with it. I really was, and it took a long time for it to get back to the fact where you can see both people. You can see everybody on both shows, and then they decided to get all of this talent again and accrue all of this talent, and then they figured out a couple years ago that they needed to redo the brand split again. And I've always said this, and guess what, guys? It's finally happened. Next week, I will have my special episode of That to Shoot where I talk about the things that could improve WWE. So that's gonna be up next week, and I'll probably get into it there about the brand about how they would do the brand split, at least in my opinion. But yeah, it is something that I think that you know it is something that that I think should happen. It is something that I just think that should be, and you know, and there is a way to do it. Yeah, you don't need that. Yeah, there's a way that you can do the brand split without it being a brand split, where that you do have two shows. You do have, you know, two shows. You can have some people on one. You can have some people on one show and some people on the other show, and have them rotate. You know, each week. You know, and they don't have to be on each show, especially the champions. So, but yeah, I am hoping that the brand split could be over. Um, I know what's his face, Lance Storm. He had an interesting theory. He talked about where that he thought that the titles should be unified and have the champions be the wild cards, which isn't a bad idea. Uh, Obviously, they should unify a title. They really should, because there's no reason for there should be two different champions, especially when you talk about with the women. You know, I mean, this, you know, because it seems like everybody's going for the you know, the women singles titles, and nobody's going for the women's tag champions. So, you know, they created the women's tag champions seemingly just almost to like appease Sasha and Bailey, and then when they decided not to do not to, you know, to not to give them a you know you know, they decided to say, well, we know we put on the Iconics. They got, you know, Sasha and Bailey get all pissy about it and everything like that. So it is just, it is what it is. So but yeah, I do hope that this is going to be the end, and then hopefully maybe what we'll see is maybe we'll see
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
surely but shortly, or whatever the phrase is. I cannot talk to this episode. But somehow, some way, by the time SmackDown goes over to Fox, there will be a fully formed united roster that goes on both shows. So that would be awesome, and maybe we'll have some unified champions too. That would be great. All right, that is it for this episode of That's the Shoot. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. If you have any thoughts on any of my put-overs, if you have any thoughts on my berries, and if you have any thoughts on my main topic, let me know down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJ Tripp, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.